What's up, guys? I didn't really give a heads up on this. What's up, guys? I didn't really put a heads up on this. I'm in Vegas and I decided to just go for a walk. So, here, check this out. Look at these fucking houses. It's sick. So, I just decided to go on a quick walk. I had no plans of doing anything, but I said if I'm gonna walk, let me at least go on Instagram and try to make some video content out of it. Oh, it's so nice walking in the warm weather. I have no plans for this. I have no idea what to talk about. So if you guys just want to do like a quick Q&A, we can just take it from there. There's a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful neighborhood here. Just gonna go for a morning walk and then come back, get some breakfast. Shit, man, it's fucking sick. Look at how beautiful this is. Maybe I should be pointing it this way. What's up? Yeah, it's cold and raining in New York. Okay, let me just show you. The view is much nicer looking at all of these houses. So, like I said, I have no real agenda for this. I just decided to go on a walk this morning. And I said instead of walking and doing nothing and being bored, let me at least walk and make some video. So, we could just make this like a very casual type of Q&A or something like that. Could everyone hear me all right? This is so beautiful. Cool. I'm gonna do a monthly review. Well, let me kind of backstory or backtrack. The hell, I'm in Vegas, right? So, long story short of it, it's kind of ridiculous, but I was talking to a girl and I really liked this girl for a couple months, and the extreme long story short of it is that we hung out on Saturday and she basically ended it. So because she ended it, I was pretty pissed. I was pretty upset. And I was like, fuck, this sucks. And my mentality was, instead of sitting at home and being upset about it, instead of sitting home and kind of just overthinking about it, I thought, what is the most spontaneous thing I could do to get my mind off of this chick? So what did I do? I came home from hanging out with her at 3 o'clock. I called my brother who's in Vegas and I said, yo, Alan, I'm coming to Vegas. And he said, all right. So I got home at 4. I booked the flight to fly out at 7 p.m. to Vegas, packed my shit up and went right to the airport. And holy shit, this is so beautiful. Let me show. So here I am in Vegas. Let me walk this way. Here I am in Vegas and I booked a one-way flight. I had no real plans of doing anything. I was planning on taking her out to dinner or something like that, but as soon as it ended, I literally drove home, packed my shit up, and flew to Vegas. And now that I'm here with my brother, now that I'm here with his friends, it just feels great, because yesterday all I did was kind of drink and party, and that was something I really haven't done in a long time, and I feel like everything happens for a reason. Everything happens for a reason. So I texted my brother Alan on Friday, and I was like, I miss you. I want to come visit you. And good morning. I said, I want to go and visit you. And I said, I don't know when I'm going to come visit you. I don't know what I'm going to do. I just want to come and see you. And it just so happened that the day after is when this shit with this girl happened, and I found myself in Vegas with Alan on a spontaneous whim. So, I mean, I haven't really taken a day off since MIC started. I've basically just been working, and holy shit, that view. Let me walk that way. All right, let's hope I don't get fucking lost. This is a fucking gated community. It's like a maze. It's massive out here. Let me go this way. So, since MIC started, I haven't taken a day off really. And, that's my own issue. I'm kind of like a workaholic. I love working and I love kind of helping the community and the members out. But, by doing that, I never really took time to enjoy it for myself. I never took time to kind of relax and have fun for myself. And I feel like I needed this spontaneous or this moment to kind of do something that would make me happy, right? So here I am in Vegas, and I literally have no return flight. I have no plans. I have nothing. I'm just staying at a beautiful, beautiful house with my brother and his business partner, and I'm just trying to enjoy myself. I might visit Bao. I might fly over to San Jose and visit him. The flight to Vegas really sucked from New Jersey. It's like 5-6 hours. So literally, I got home at 4. I packed my shit, went to the airport, flew at 7, landed at Vegas at 9 or 10 p.m. Vegas time, which was midnight my time, and immediately went to the liquor store, bought a bunch of alcohol, bought a bunch of vodka, got drunk, slept at like 2 or 3 in the morning Vegas time, woke up at 6 a.m. Vegas time, uploaded the 2 videos for members, and now everyone in the house is asleep. So I'm just bored and walking around. So that's kind of why I'm in Vegas. That's kind of how I ended up in here. I learned that all women are evil, and I gotta just keep focusing on me. So other than that, do you guys have any questions for me? Let's make this fun and interactive. And I don't know who the fuck lives in that mega mansion, but that's fucking sick. Let's see if we could get there. San Jose meetup? Yeah, we'll see. Either I'm going to go to San Jose or Bao is going to come to Vegas. Either or. What's the best place that I've been? I love Vegas, man. I really love Vegas. I love that there's always something going on at night. I love that the food is the best on the planet. I love that people are nice here. I love the weather here. I'm fucking wearing shorts. I haven't worn shorts when I was walking in such a long time. So, I've been to Vegas. I'm 24 years old. I've been to Vegas maybe 10 times already. I go like maybe 2 or 3 times a year. 2 times to party and 1 time to just have fun. So, well, have fun and not party, I guess. It is a beautiful neighborhood. They have like a golf course nearby somewhere. Maybe I could find it. How am I able to function when I'm hungover? I'm definitely not able to function. I feel hungover as hell, but I've been really disciplined with walking and exercising. And I've noticed that if I'm disciplined in one area of my life, that it kind of shows that discipline continues to all areas of my life. Shit, I'm getting closer to that massive mansion, but it's on a fucking hill. I don't know if I could get there. Can everyone hear me all right? Too much wind blowing. Maybe I'll walk slower. You guys have any questions? I'm going to do another Instagram live. I don't know when yet. I was going to kind of do it today, but then this whole Vegas thing happened, so everything kind of got discombobulated. Morning. Everything kind of got discombobulated. So I'm thinking of just doing the other Instagram live later today or tomorrow or whatever the hell it is, because I want to show my broker statement for March, because I think that's important to see. I think it's important to see how I've kind of adjusted my trading to become more disciplined and more patient, and it's paid dividends like crazy. I've had only one red day in March, and I mean, other than that, wow, this is fucking beautiful out here. There's so many people walking here. I don't know what this is like. I'm not used to this. I'm just used to me walking by myself. Now I see people walking their dogs and walking like grandma and grandpa together. This is so cool. I'm in Henderson or something like that in Vegas. I don't know. I really don't even know where I am. I'm just fucking here in this beautiful, beautiful community. How am I able to gauge size? Okay, that's a good question. So, sizing is not easy. Sizing is more of an art than a talent. And what you have to realize about sizing is that liquidity is an issue as well. You need to make sure that the stock is liquid enough to control your size. So for example, if a stock is trading, I don't know, 1 million shares on the day, and you try to trade 10, 15, 20,000 shares, you're gonna have a bunch of slippage because there's not gonna be enough liquidity. But if a stock is trading, I don't know, 50, 100 million, 200 million shares, something crazy like that, then you could fucking go in and out with as much size as you want. And that's step one. Step one is finding out how much liquidity are in these stocks. And step two is figuring out why are you sizing, right? Just because you have a max size of, let's say, 10,000 shares does not mean that you have to use 10,000 shares. So how do I do it? For me, it depends on a bunch of different tactics. Number one is I need to see the float size. So if the stock is a low float, I have rules based on my sizing for low floats. So for example, if a stock has a float of less than 4 million shares, the max size that I allow myself to use is 10,000 shares. If the stock has a float of less than 10 million shares, then my max size I use is 20,000 shares. If it has a float of over 10 million, then I could use 20,000, 30,000, whatever it is. But you know, the way I base my size is on the float. So determining those numbers and determining what size you're going to use based on the float is something that you need to figure out for yourself. But even then, even if I've recognized that I need to be using 10,000 shares maximum on a float of fucking 4 million or whatever it is, I still make it so that if the stock is under VWAP, I could use my full size. If the stock is above VWAP, I cannot use my full size. So I just try to keep it as systematic as possible. I try to keep it as simple as possible. Good morning. I try to keep it as simple as possible. And I don't know. I hope that helped answer your question. Would you say reacting versus anticipating each day and our stock is a big factor for March? So for me, what really helped me in March is picking the right setups. So day one stocks, I wasn't really touching unless they were on their VWAP. Day two stocks, I was sizing in and being more patient with. I was just trying to use the system that Bao keeps talking, the low-hanging fruit, the day two strategies, and just sizing up more on those rather than wasting my time on day one just because they're the hot chick of the day. And, you know, the results show themselves on red day in March. And because the results show themselves, now it makes me more confident in the setups. Now it makes me more confident to be so patient. There's been plenty of days where there was a day one hot chick moving and Bao was trading it and I didn't. And I basically just found myself just trying to be so disciplined in it, trying to kind of just wait for the confirmation. You know, this whole idea of anticipation versus confirmation is so important because, you know, if you're anticipating the move, you're dead. You know, it's going to work out 9 times, but that 10th time that doesn't work out, you're done. That's why we keep trying to talk about these death lines and these areas of interest and all these things to kind of help simplify everything. You know? Oh, what's up, Bao? Yeah, it's so beautiful to walk here, man. Here, let me flip the camera again. It's so beautiful out here. There's people walking. Everyone is so nice. Are you still trading small size on day ones or not at all? It depends on the setup. So for example, DARE was a day one setup that I remember very well, or SPI. SPI is an even better example because I remember that totally. So if you pull up the SPI chart from when it went to like $7 in one day, that was a day one setup that I sized into. And why does that make it different than everything else? Why did I size up into that day one setup and not everything else? So SPI was a massive gap. It was gapping up like 200% on news. And what I saw was the death line was at $5, right? So what I do on day ones is I identify the death line. And then I just wait for that death line to come. So on SPI, I remember very clearly. It opened up at $7 and it got stuffed right in the morning, and I identified the death line as 5. So when it kind of broke down through $5 on day one, and it was under VWAP. So let me repeat that. It broke under the death line. It was under VWAP, and it had about $2 worth of bag holders from $5 to $7. I shorted that. And my plan wasn't just short my full size when the death line broke. What I like to do with the death line is I take a starter when it breaks, and most of the time they have just one more small bounce, and that small bounce is where I start to attack. And on SPI, the example was very clear. Death line was $5. It broke down to $4.80, bounced to $5.20. I sized in at $5.20. I covered at $4.30. Made almost $1 a share that day. And that's a day one setup that I'll take because the risk reward is so much in my favor. The risk reward is so good on a setup like that it just makes sense to take it. So that's usually the only time I take a day one trade, is if it's under the death line. But the real money, the money that everyone in the room is making, is on the day two low-hanging fruits. And the low-hanging fruits are the stocks that people forget about. They're the ugly chicks. They're the stocks that aren't too exciting anymore. They're not jumping up and down. They're not doing this and that. And those are usually the ones that are the most easy to trade, the most easy to make money on. And that's kind of where my focus has been in March. And I've just been sizing up larger on those day two setups because that's kind of what's been working on in this market. Day one has been too choppy in this market, so I avoid it. And even if I don't avoid it, I take a small, minuscule 30% of my max size on that setup just so that I get the FOMO out of my system. So if I identify that the stock is a low float and my max size is 10,000 shares, like on GBR from Friday, that's a really good example. So GBR on Friday was a low float, and I determined that the maximum size that I wanted to use was 10,000 shares. And if it was above VWAP, I was going to use 3,000 shares. If it was under VWAP, I could use the full 10,000. So what I saw on that setup was, sorry, this fucking hill is crazy. I need a break. What I saw on that setup was basically that the stock double topped that I think it was 360 or 370, and I didn't really want to be involved unless there was an area that I could kind of risk off of. I'm not going to try to find the top. I'm not going to try to find the bottom. Rather, I'm going to let the top create itself and risk up to it. And what I needed to see was I saw a double top at that area. So I saw the stock push to 370, pull back to like 350, push again to 370, and fail to 340. And when I saw that, my mentality has been, if the $0.50 mark breaks and it stuffs, if I take 3,000 shares at 350, risking 20 cents to make 50 cents, I'm risking $600 to make $1,500. To me, that made sense. So I shorted at 350 when the stock double topped at 370, only 3,000 shares because it was still front side of the move. Covered at, I think it was 320. So I made some good money. Then what did I do after that? After that, what I saw was that there was a line at 315. And that 315 line that was supporting was also where VWAP was. So the next trade that I took on it was simple. I basically just waited until that 315 line broke, and then I would hit 10,000 shares on that failed breakdown. And literally exactly what happened was It retested 320, 330, stuffed 315. I shorted 10,000 shares at like 315, 316, 319, something like that. And immediately it went to like 280 or something. So that's where I made most of my money. So on day one, yeah, I'm still trading, but I'm waiting for a process. I'm waiting for the stock to confirm to me. I'm waiting for the stock to prove itself to me. I'm waiting for it to tell me this is okay to do. And my thought process was, if 315 broke, it would be over. If 315 didn't break, it wouldn't be over and I would have no trade. So I just kept it simple. The key is not to try to find the top. The key is not to try to find the bottom. The key is not to be a hero. The key is just to wait. Wait until the stock feels so easy and so clear that you would be a fool not to take that trade. And GBR was exactly that. I let it extend. I let it do its thing. I let it push. I let it top. And then when the top was formed, I risked 20 cents. And then it fucking unwound. So, I don't have any hills where I walk. It's just fucking straight up. I mean, straight flat. This is like so many fucking hills. Whew. Now I know how Bao feels. The death line has been revolutionary for the guys in MIC and for me and Bao. You know, me and Bao have always used the death line, but we never really had a name for it. We never had a process for it. We never had a way to kind of track it. And now that we have a way to track it, now that we have, let me go this way. Now that we have a way to track it, now that we have a good trade, we are able to attack on day one. So day two is already easy, quote unquote easy, right? Day two is already easy because those are the low hangers. Those are the easier stocks of the day. Those are the stocks that people forget about. So day two is money. Day one, we lacked a process. We had one, but we didn't know how to kind of quantify it. We didn't know how to make it easy. The thing about MIC is that we try to make these strategies and this process easy. The lines, the death lines, support, resistance, all these things that we try to preach, we try to make it so easy that anyone could understand it. You got all these other people on Twitter, they think they got a PhD and all this shit, that say, wow, you're only teaching them lines? Motherfucker, if you know how to do it, why don't you teach your guys? It's just, there's a lot of egos on the internet, and Bao had a good rant kind of in MIC after hours this morning, kind of talking about the process and talking about what true life and true happiness comes from. And it's from helping other people out. So our goal is to make everything so simple that anyone could understand, anyone could comprehend, and anyone could trade off of. The death line is revolutionary. The oh shit line. Let's turn back. Can everyone hear me all right? I know it's a little windy. Simplicity is the ultimate sophistication. That's the damn truth. Gotta see more example of the death line. Yeah, the death line is not just for shorts. That's a good point, pal. The death line also shows that when longs should stop fucking trying to buy dips on that. The death line also shows that if that level breaks, that longs are not in control anymore. So just being able to recognize that would give you an edge to realize that it's not time to go long anymore. Excuse me. So many nice families walking out. Again, keep in mind, I'm extremely hungover and I haven't eaten breakfast yet, and I feel like I'm gonna collapse while walking. Yeah, the bear is really good at this stuff. The bear is really good at backside. So the bear always posts his charts in MIC, and that's something that's really helped me too, whether he realizes it or not. His charts of how he really waits for the stock to break down He waits for the stock to confirm. He waits for the stock to prove itself, and then he attacks. To me, I've learned from that as well. So, I'm not an expert. Bao's not an expert. No one is a fucking expert in this game. But if someone is good at something and someone else is good at something else, and we can all kind of come together and help each other out and create a strategy that is mended for everyone, that we can kind of work together with, then that's the power of MIC. Do you have any stats on how often the death line break results in breakdowns? I think for the past 2 or 3 weeks, if the stock has broke the death line, it doesn't come back. It breaks the death line, it pops, the pop fails, and then it sells off. The key is to identify the proper death line. The death line isn't just a support line. It's the support line that proves that the stock is no longer going to bounce back to where it came from. This beautiful, beautiful area. I feel like I'm in Bao's hood right now. His nice gated community with all of his nice neighbors all waving and saying hi, and the grannies and stuff like that. I'm going to be doing another Instagram live either today or later this week with my broker statements for March. I'm going to talk about my biggest wins and some of my biggest losses. Well, I only had one loss. Actually, maybe I'll just talk about that now. I'll just kind of give a quick heads up about my biggest loss in the month. I had one losing day in March, and that losing day was on ATOS on day one. So on ATOS on day one, the stock was kind of being manipulated all day. It was holding up all day, and I basically just started shorting it for no real reason. The death line was 430, and I think I was shorting it. I was trying to anticipate it rather than wait for the confirmation. And long story short, I lost on that day. I lost on ATOS day one. So, there's times that I make money on day one. There's times I lose money, but it all comes back to the process. What was my process on day one of ATOS? Did it break the death line? No. Then why was I shorting? Whereas on SPI, it broke the death line on day one. That's what gave me the ability to short. Sick. I still don't know who lives in that fucking castle over there. I think Alan told me it was the owner of Panda Express or something like that. Or what was it? Something like that. This house right here. It's fucking huge. I think it's the owner of Panda Express, and I think he mentioned that, what was it? I think that yellow house over there, I'm pretty sure Steve Aoki's house. I don't know. Yeah, that's the key. The key for me has been anticipation versus confirmation, and a way to quantify it, a way to identify it, a way to just kind of prove that, So let me take a seat real quick. If I wait for the confirmation and I attack on the confirmation, even if I'm wrong and even if it doesn't work out, the loss would still be smaller than when I try to anticipate a stock. So, what me and Bao do, what our process is every morning, is we look at which stocks are moving on day one, and we look at which stocks are moving on day two. So first things first is we identify the stocks on day two that we want to attack, because day two is more important to us. Day two is where we make most of our money. So we identify the stocks on day two and we draw our lines on it. We draw our areas of interest. And most of the time on day twos, what's nice to do is, because they move a little bit slower, because they're not as active, because they're not as exciting for people, it's a lot easier to kind of read the tape, and it's a lot easier to kind of put out fishing orders and wait for them to hit. Whereas on day one, there's so much volume and so many participants and so much this and so much that day ones are hard. So we plot out our entries for day twos, and let's say our ideal entry is 450 line. What I'll do is I'll put some fishing orders, 439, 444, 449, 452, 455. maybe like 500 shares each or something like that, just to be fishing, so that I know that if that level hits, it's going to get my eyes to start watching that stock. It's not a matter of trying to make money on those beginning starter shares. It's a matter of me kind of getting my attention on that, because if there's so many stocks moving on the day, it's hard to keep track of them. But the fishing orders are so good, because if you plot them at the right places, it just becomes robotic, like an algo. You're just kind of setting an algo for yourself. So that's kind of how we do it on day 2. So day 1, what me and Bao like to do now is we look at the float. We identify if it's low float or not. Then what we do is we look at the filings. We look if there's any dilution or anything like that in the filings. And then after that, we kind of plot our lines. And if the stock doesn't really have too much meat on the bone, we talk about that. If a stock doesn't really have much range on the bone, we talk about that. And we, again, plot out our entries on day 1, but we're a lot more extreme with our patience on it. So we use something called the outer lines. And the outer lines are kind of the resistance areas that are kind of furthest out, that most of the time will reject if they get there. So we kind of plot out our outer lines. We plan out our fantasy orders. We plan out our wishing orders. We plan out everything like this. But we also like to identify the death line, because we know that if we have a solid number for the death line, if we have a solid area for the death line, all we have to do is when we see that number and we see it break, it's robotic again. We already, in our mind, created a plan of how we're going to attack when the death line breaks. And that's basically what we do. So day 1 process is outer lines and death lines. Outer lines to scalp, death line for size. And if it just so happens that the stock doesn't break death line on day 1, if I'm still only using 30% of my size above VWAP, then my loss is going to be so mitigated, because when the backside does hit and when it does confirm, I'm almost tripling up my size, because that is what allows me to, nail the stock. That is my rules. My rules are 30% above VWAP, 100% under VWAP. Yeah, you're right, Bao. It's true. I've got my win percentage up to like 70 or 75%, which is great. But I don't lose often. But when I do lose, I have to make sure that it's not more than a day or 2 days of work or a week's worth of work. Because once you start to lose more than a week's worth of work in a day, then that hurts your mentality. So, I'm not taking unnecessary losses, because now we have a process on day 1. We lacked that confirmation name, or we lacked that extra something to kind of tell us that, hey, it's day 1, don't fucking mess around. All right, this is enough sitting. Back to walking. Shit, almost hit my head. Back to walking. Yeah, risk management is key. We have so many videos that Joe made about automating your trading, about these OCO orders and these stop limits and trigger orders and all these things that, make trading so robotic. They make it so all you have to do is plot out your entries and your exits, type in the orders, and let them do their magic, What I saw in March for me is discipline led to a massive month, and discipline led to only one red day. So the reason why, again, I'm walking like this, the reason why I'm doing this even when I'm in Vegas and I'm hungover, is that if I want trading to be disciplined, if I want to be disciplined in my trading, I have to be disciplined in all aspects of my life. And that comes with fitness, that comes with exercise, that comes with everything. So I'm finding myself walking outside more. Even if I'm not doing Instagram videos of it, I find myself walking outside more, because that discipline is also pouring into my trading. I'm gonna go by the pool. Everyone in the house is fucking asleep. These guys are on Vegas time. It's 10 a.m. Vegas time. It's 1 p.m. my time. So I'm already ready to have lunch. I'm ready to fucking relax. I'm ready to do this and that. But everyone's still fucking asleep. All right, let's go inside. If you show up to this house, I'll shoot you. It's a gated community. don't fucking show up. Let me crack open a beer. This is Hunter. Oh shit. You guys look at this view instead of looking at me. So what else? Hey, is it here? I joined MIC today and want to learn from Bao. I only see 3 videos in the Trading Fish Academy DVD. Are there any more Bao's teaching? I don't see your videos. Sure. So Bao's Trading Fish Academy is 3 2-hour videos of him live trading. Aside from that, Bao has like fucking 50 daily recaps where he recaps his day. And other than that, there's trade recaps that I do. There's trade recaps that Austin does. Joe does a beginner series on trading basics. Chicago Trader does a series on fundamental analysis. So there's a bunch of different stuff in there. So if I was you, it depends on how much trading experience you've had. So if you're brand new to trading and you don't really know much about trading, then what you should do is you should start with Joe's Trading Basics series. And then after, oh shit. Well, I guess the dogs won't play catch. Sorry, this is so much fun. If you don't know anything about trading, you should watch Joe's Trading Basics series. After that, you should watch Bao's daily recaps. You should watch his Trading Fish videos and then watch the fundamental analysis. There's over 290 videos in the MIC video library. I think we're close to almost 100 hours of content. And the key is just to watch it all. The key is just to start somewhere and watch fucking Hunter. Get the ball. This is fun. Yeah, so, I mean, you have to know if you're just starting out. And that's totally fine if you're just starting out. But also remember that if you're just starting out, you should be paper trading. You should not be trading with size. You should not be kind of diving in until you prove to yourself that you have a consistent strategy. Go get it. Man, life is good. Life is good. Yo, what other job gives you the ability to take a spontaneous flight with 3 hours notice, fly across the country to Las Vegas, and be in a beautiful home with a couple of dogs just playing and hanging out? It's beautiful, man. What else, guys? What else? What's everyone up to today? What are you guys all up to today? What's your game plan for today? Talk about the mental aspect. Yeah, so, I mean, at this level, trading is all mental, right? So what does that mean? Why does everyone keep saying that trading is mental? Why is it mental? Why is it all in your head? This and that. The reality is that just the simple fact is if you are fighting with your girlfriend, if you are having issues at home, if you are struggling in any type of way mentally, if you have any type of mental strain in your head, trading is not going to work out because, because the reality is that You could learn the mechanics of trading all you want. You could learn the lines, you could learn support, you could learn resistance, you could learn everything. But if your mental aspect is not 100%, if you're mentally not competent, here, give me a sec. Let me get this ball for the dog so he doesn't have to jump in the water. It's beautiful. My biggest problem as a trader is FOMO. My biggest problem is I hate missing opportunity. My biggest problem is that I hate when I see other people making a bunch of money on a setup that I didn't make money on. And what I do to kind of combat that is I talk to Bao about it. I talk to my trading accountability buddy about it. I talk to someone that totally understands the way I feel and that could help me. And what we do is we kind of reassure each other that it's okay to miss a stock. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay 100 times, because the reality is that we're all humans. We're not going to be able to nail everything. We're not going to be able to every stock that moves, we nail. But if we are able to come to the market every single day and pull out a consistent paycheck, then we're already doing better than 90% of the traders out there. So why are we trying to overachieve? Why are we trying to kind of do more than is necessary? MIC is cheap, man. It's $179 a month. That's $6 a day. That's a cup of coffee a day. You know, rather than getting a stupid overpriced Starbucks coffee, just fucking join MIC. If you're making more than $5, $6 a day trading, the membership pays for itself. We don't charge $5,000 for a DVD. We don't charge $15,000 to meet us. We give you everything, man. We give you everything. And the fact that we give you everything and everyone is still not a member of MIC just shows that people look for instant gratification. People are looking for that easy dollar. They think that if they join this $5,000 trading academy or $5,000 service, that it's going to jumpstart them and it's going to get them where they need to be. But the reality is that when you do stuff like that, when you join a service that's charging you $5,000 to meet you, wow, look at this. When you're joining a service that's charging you $5,000 to meet you, and you're buying a DVD for fucking $5,000, $6,000, $7,000, all you're doing is hurting yourself because you are learning the wrong way to trade. You need to unteach yourself. You need to unlearn that bad trading first so that you could be successful trading the right way. And when people join MIC, when they see what we have to offer and when they see what we're teaching, they're like, holy shit, this is what trading is. Like, I don't use fucking market orders. I don't use fucking... So many fucking dogs. All right, chill out, cousin. Chill out. Go get the ball. Get the ball. Fucking animals. Straight up fucking savages. Where's the ball? Let's go find the ball. I got you, cousin. Cousin. Go get it. Shit, man. The weather's so beautiful out here. Got some beautiful dogs. Got a bunch of beautiful people. It's beautiful. Go get it. All right, guys. I mean, if you guys have any more questions, let me know. But other than that, I think I'm just going to chill out and keep playing with the dogs all day. Yeah, I guess that's the last thing I'll talk about. In August, we're going to raise our prices for MIC. We can't be fucking giving these things away for free forever. But we're going to do it the right way. If you're a member, we're going to grandfather you in. And we're going to give everyone a heads up. And we're going to let you know exactly when we're going to raise prices so that everyone knows and no one says that you didn't tell us. But basically, sign up for MIC before we raise the prices. That's just that simple. Hey, Harry. What's up, man? Here, let me get the ball for these dogs again. All right, guys, I think I'm going to wrap it up for the day and just hang out and enjoy this weather. I wasn't really planning on doing a video, but fuck, these things are fun. So I'll see you guys later.